Getting your car washed is supposed to be simple. You drive in, get soapy, and leave shiny. But for some people, the automated tunnel is a portal to a dimension of pure stupidity. We have gathered 55 of the most mind-numbingly dumb complaints ever filed against car washes in America. From people suing because the foam was the wrong color to those who forgot how windows work, these stories will make you question the future of humanity. This is a journey through the absolute peak of human entitlement and a total lack of basic common sense. 1. A gentleman in Florida filed a formal corporate complaint because it started raining exactly 20 minutes after he drove off the lot. He did not just demand a refund, he wanted the manager to compensate him for the emotional trauma of Mother Nature ruining his shine. He argued that every wash should come with a 48-hour weather guarantee. It is as if he believes the local business owner has a secret hotline to the heavens and simply forgot to tell God to hold the rain for his specific Camry. The level of entitlement required to blame a small business for the global water cycle is truly a work of art. 2. One man was livid because the high-speed air dryers scared his imaginary friend sitting in the passenger seat. He filed a formal complaint for emotional distress to a non-physical entity and demanded a public apology from the car wash owner. He sat in the lobby for an hour, explaining how the loud noise shook the spiritual aura of his invisible companion. At what point does a business owner just call for medical help instead of dealing with a customer complaint about a ghost sitting in a Ford Focus? 3. One extremely confused driver pulled into the car wash exit lane and tried to order a double cheeseburger from the automated payment kiosk. When the machine failed to dispense a meal, he filed a formal complaint for deceptive business practices, claiming the building design looked too much like a fast food restaurant. He even demanded a voucher for a free lunch to compensate for his hunger and confusion. Honestly, if you cannot tell the difference between a burger joint and a giant tunnel of soap, should you even be allowed to operate a motor vehicle? 4. Those old-school metal antennas used to be everywhere, but one genius decided the giant yellow signs saying, "Please remove your antenna," were just suggestions for people less important than him. After the spinning brushes turned his antenna into a metal pretzel, he filed a police report for vandalism by machinery. He told the responding officer that the brushes looked aggressive and seemed to target his vehicle specifically. Have you ever met someone who genuinely believes inanimate objects have a personal vendetta against them? Or is this guy just living in a cartoon world? 5. We have all seen the new car scent option, but one customer took his complaint to a very dark and hungry place. He filed a claim stating that the bubblegum-scented soap used in the final rinse made him so hungry that he was forced to drive to a nearby bakery and spend $20 on donuts. He actually submitted his bakery receipt to the manager, demanding a reimbursement for unintentional marketing-induced caloric intake. It takes a legendary level of audacity to blame a soap nozzle for your own lack of self-control around a glazed cruller. 6. The new scratch complaint is the oldest trick in the book, but this particular customer was a creative masterpiece. A guy claimed the brushes buffed away a specific scratch on his door that he actually liked because it gave his truck rugged character. He wanted the car wash to pay for a custom paint shop to recreate the scratch exactly where it was before the wash. He called it his commemorative trail damage and acted like the car wash had erased a piece of his personal history. You really cannot win when your customer considers dirt and damage to be a lifestyle choice. 7. A woman once called the police to a car wash because the side mirror on her SUV was folded inward by the power of the brushes. She did not try to just push it back out with her hand. No, she sat in the exit lane, blocking 10 other vehicles, and claimed the machinery had disintegrated the structural integrity of her car. When the manager simply reached over and flipped the mirror back into place in 1 second, she accused him of unauthorized repair work and demanded a discount for the trauma of seeing her car slightly less wide for a minute. 8. There is a special kind of confidence required to drive into an automated tunnel with your windows rolled down and then scream at a teenager because your upholstery is now a pond. One guy in Texas did exactly that. claiming the colorful flashing lights at the entrance confused him into thinking he was at a drive-in cinema. He tried to sue for the cost of his ruined, dry-clean-only suit. If you cannot remember to roll up your windows before entering a giant box of water, should you even have a license? Or do you think some people are just fundamentally incapable of basic survival? 9. The vacuums at professional car washes are powerful, but they are not magical black holes. Yet, one lady filed a complaint because she left her diamond engagement ring in the open cup holder and claimed the vacuum reached out and grabbed it. She did not just want the vacuum bin opened. She wanted the manager to pay for a diamond expert to verify the stone had not been traumatized by the air suction. The idea of a vacuum being sentient enough to steal jewelry is the kind of science fiction nonsense that car wash owners have to deal with on a Tuesday morning. 10. Lastly, we have the professional mudder, who was furious because the car wash actually did its job. This guy had spent his entire weekend driving through puddles to make his Jeep look tough for a date, but his wife took it through the wash on Monday morning. He tried to bill the car wash for the aesthetic loss of street cred and requested they provide him with a bucket of authentic-looking sludge to reapply to his fenders. Is it even possible to be more delusional than a man who thinks his masculinity is washed away by a little bit of soap and water? 11. A guy in Alabama complained the triple-color foam was way too pink and directly threatened his fragile masculinity. He claimed these fruity colors made his lifted truck look delicate to his neighbors and demanded a full rewash with charcoal-colored soap. Imagine being so insecure that a few biodegradable bubbles make you question your entire identity as a man. Is there anything more pathetic than a guy whose ego can be dismantled by a little bit of neon pink foam? Or do you think he was just fishing for a freebie? 12. One woman was absolutely livid that her check engine light was still shining bright after she paid for a premium wash. She filed a formal complaint claiming that a $30 service should have deep cleaned her spark plugs and automatically cleared all her dashboard sensors. She actually handed the manager a massive repair bill from her mechanic, arguing that the wash failed its job to rejuvenate her engine. It is hard to tell if she is genuinely confused about how water works, or if she thinks a car wash is a magical healing portal for neglected vehicles. 13. Seeking a trigger warning, one driver complained that the spinning brushes gave them a heart flutter and felt like a scene from a low-budget horror movie. They claimed the unpredictable movements of the wet cloth were physically intimidating and wanted the facility to pay for an emergency therapy session to recover. Are we really becoming a society that is terrified of giant blue mops? Or are people just looking for any excuse to play the victim? At what point did we decide that life's most minor inconveniences are actually traumatic, life-altering events? 14. The high-powered vacuums are undeniably strong, but one customer actually sued because she claimed the machine stole a diamond earring she left on the floorboard. She demanded the manager shut down the entire 5-bay operation to sift through weeks of industrial dirt bins just for her tiny piece of jewelry. When the staff refused to stop making money to go through trash, she accused them of organized theft by suction. If you are leaving loose diamonds on a filthy floor, is it really the vacuum's fault? Or are you just failing at basic adult responsibilities? 15. After getting a premium wax treatment, one guy complained his car was dangerously shiny and that the glare forced him to wear sunglasses inside his own house. He demanded a full refund for the service, arguing the car wash had weaponized the sun against him and his sensitive vision. It takes a special kind of person to pay for a high-end service and then get angry when the results are actually too good to handle. Imagine being so miserable that you find a way to complain about your vehicle looking brand new and reflecting too much light. 16. A high-level executive was genuinely outraged when her important business call was interrupted by the high-velocity air dryers at the end of the tunnel. She filed a complaint demanding the dryers be turned off whenever a customer is on the phone to protect her professional reputation. She actually expected a local business to stop its entire workflow and kill its efficiency so she could talk about corporate spreadsheets in peace. Does the world really revolve around your speakerphone? Or have we just completely forgotten how to be alone with ourselves for 60 seconds? 17. Leaving a sunroof open. Just an inch for fresh air is a bold choice, but one genius was shocked when it turned his leather interior into a private swimming pool. He did not blame his own memory. He blamed the car wash for not sensing the opening and automatically adjusting the high-pressure water jets. He argued that in the age of modern AI, these machines should be intelligent enough to know when a customer is being a complete idiot. Asking a machine to have more brainpower than the person driving the vehicle is an incredibly bold move. 18. Accuracy is everything. For one customer who complained the new car scent did not smell exactly like his specific car did back in 2004. He claimed the chemical profile was wrong and even brought in a greasy, smelly rag from his garage to prove his point to the confused staff. He actually spent an hour debating the molecular structure of a pine-scented spray with a teenager making minimum wage. Imagine having so much free time that you can argue about the authenticity of a $3 air freshener with a straight face and a greasy rag. 19. At a touchless car wash, a guy complained the water did not scrub 3-year-old bird droppings off his hood with enough force. He claimed the term touchless was deceptive marketing and expected the wash to use targeted sonic waves, or invisible hands, to clean it perfectly. He basically wanted the laws of physics to bend because he was too lazy to use a sponge even once a year. Are we really at a point where we expect magic instead of basic cleaning? Or is laziness becoming a recognized personality trait in the suburbs? 20. The green exit sign was apparently too aggressive for one woman who claimed it gave her a migraine and was not spiritually inclusive. She suggested the wash change all safety signage to muted pastels to maintain her zen after the relaxing experience of the soap. She spent 20 minutes explaining how the bright light interrupted her energy flow and ruined her entire morning routine. It is a miracle some people can manage to drive at all without being completely overwhelmed by the simple existence of the color spectrum and basic traffic safety signs. 21. A guy at a local car wash filed a formal complaint because the brushes removed a protective layer of dust he had been cultivating for months. He claimed the car wash stripped the character off his truck and demanded they pay for a professional dusting service to restore the grime. It is peak irony to pay for a cleaning service and then get angry when your car actually ends up clean. Do you think people like this are just looking for a reason to complain? Or do they truly value a pile of dirt over a shiny finish? 22. One parent lost their mind at the car wash vacuum station because the high suction hose swallowed a priceless art project, which was actually just a crumpled fast food receipt with a crayon squiggle. They demanded the manager halt all vacuuming operations and slice open the industrial dust bags to retrieve the masterpiece. When told that was impossible, they accused the car wash of destroying a child's future prospects. Imagine the ego required to think a piece of trash is so important that it warrants shutting down an entire multi-million-dollar business for an hour. 23. A driver in New Jersey called the police from inside the car wash tunnel, claiming the conveyor belt was kidnapping her because she could not steer. Despite the giant sign saying "neutral, feet off pedals," she panicked when the car started moving on its own and demanded a rescue team. She eventually filed a complaint against the car wash for unlawful restraint and emotional distress. Is it even safe for someone to be on the road if they are terrified of a slow-moving metal track? Or should we have much stricter testing for basic common sense? 24. A woman at the end of the car wash tunnel was furious because the high-powered air dryers messed up her expensive blowout while she had her window cracked open. She demanded the car wash pay for a salon visit, arguing that the dryers should be whisper quiet and non-disruptive to passengers. It takes a special kind of logic to keep your window open during a mechanical windstorm, and then blame the machine for your messy hair. Some people really do expect the world to stop spinning just because they spent $50 at a hairdresser that morning. 25. One customer filed a complaint because they believed the water used at the car wash was too cold and would cause their engine block to go into thermal shock and shatter. They demanded to see the thermometer readings for the rinse cycle and insisted on a refund because the water was not room temperature. This is the kind of scientific nonsense that makes car wash owners want to quit the industry forever. Do you think this guy stayed up all night worrying about his engine, or is he just trying to sound much smarter than he actually is? 26. A customer at a self-service car wash complained that the soap was too bubbly and obscured their vision of the car they were cleaning. They claimed the excessive foam was a safety hazard and that the business was trying to hide missed spots under a thick layer of suds. They actually wanted a discount because the soap performed its primary function a little too well for their liking. It is truly a struggle to satisfy a person who is literally angry that the cleaning product they purchased is creating too many high-quality bubbles. 27. A guy with a luxury sedan was outraged after the car wash tire shine machine made his tires look too greasy for his personal aesthetic. He filed a claim stating that the glossy finish made him look like a cheap show-off to his country club friends and demanded the manager hand-scrub the shine off. He basically wanted a matte tire finish that looked humbly expensive instead of vibrantly clean. It is amazing how much effort some people put into making sure their expensive toys look exactly the right kind of rich for their social circle. 28. One off-road enthusiast complained because the car wash did not leave a strategic amount of mud in the wheel wells to prove he had been adventuring. He argued that a true car wash would understand the lifestyle of a Jeep owner and leave the evidence of his weekend trip intact. He even asked for a credit for the lost memories that were washed down the drain along with the clay and silt. It seems for some, a car wash is not a cleaning service, but an accidental eraser of their entire outdoor personality and street credibility. 29. A teenager filed a complaint because the rainbow wax used in the car wash tunnel did not create a permanent holographic effect on his paint. He genuinely thought the colorful foam would leave a cool glow that lasted for weeks and accused the business of false artistic advertising when his car just looked like a regular car. He even threatened to leave a 1-star review unless they gave him a neon upgrade for free. This is what happens when people spend too much time on social media filters and not enough time in reality. 30. A businessman at an express car wash was livid because the total wash time was 3 minutes and 45 seconds instead of the advertised 3 minutes. He filed a complaint for theft of billable time and demanded a refund for the 45-second delay that supposedly ruined his morning schedule. He actually calculated his hourly rate and tried to bill the car wash for the minor loss. Do you think people who act like this are actually that busy? Or is it just a massive power trip over a few seconds of soapy water? 31. A guy filed a formal complaint at a luxury car wash because he felt the high-intensity scrubbing brushes disturbed the spirit of his vintage Mustang. He claimed the car no longer purred the same way and demanded the manager pay for a spiritual healer to perform an automotive exorcism in the drying bay. He actually sat in the parking lot for 2 hours, trying to reconnect with his dashboard while glaring at the teenage staff. It is one thing to love your vehicle, but it is another level of insanity to think a giant blue sponge can actually traumatize a piece of metal. 32. One customer at a self-service car wash was furious when the high-pressure water spray peeled away his brand-new window tint. The catch was that he had just applied a cheap $5 plastic film himself 20 minutes prior and did not let the adhesive dry at all. He blamed the car wash for having too much pressure and demanded they pay for a professional tinting job at a local shop. It takes a massive amount of confidence to suck at a DIY project and then expect a total stranger to foot the bill for your own obvious incompetence. 33. A woman filed a bizarre complaint claiming the car wash soap contained a secret ingredient that specifically attracts local birds. She argued that every time she left the facility, a bird would poop on her hood within a mile, and therefore, the business was running a repeat customer scam. She wanted a full chemical analysis of the soap to prove her theory of a coordinated avian conspiracy against her clean car. Do you think people like this actually believe the world is out to get them? Or is it just easier to blame a soap company than to admit birds are just everywhere? 34. At a busy car wash vacuum station, a man tried to use the industrial suction hose to clean the crumbs out of his own thick beard. When the high-power vacuum predictably gave him a massive red hickey on his neck, he threatened to sue the business for unlabeled, dangerous equipment. He argued that there should be a giant warning sign stating the vacuums are for cars only and not for personal facial grooming. It is genuinely terrifying that we share the road with people who look at an industrial machine and think it is a great idea to put it on their face. 35. A customer at an automated car wash was so terrified by the sound of the water hitting his roof that he filed a complaint for noise pollution and sensory assault. He claimed the car wash was unnecessarily loud and that the business should provide noise-canceling headphones to every driver before they enter the tunnel. He actually suggested the manager install silent water technology, which apparently only exists in his imagination. If the sound of a little bit of splashing water is enough to send you into a panic, maybe staying home in a quiet room is a better lifestyle choice. 36. One guy's rusted-out license plate finally gave up the ghost and fell off during the final rinse cycle of the car wash. Instead of acknowledging that his car was held together by rust and prayer, he accused the vicious spinning brushes of tearing his identity away. He demanded the car wash pay for a brand new custom plate and the labor to install it. It is amazing how a car wash can suddenly become the scapegoat for a decade of total vehicle neglect. Is there any limit to the excuses people will make to avoid taking responsibility for their own property? 37. A woman filed a complaint claiming the electromagnetic field of the car wash machinery hacked her radio and changed it from her favorite jazz station to heavy metal. She insisted that the demonic music traumatized her and that the car wash owed her a formal apology for the unwanted musical influence. She even asked for a free car wash to rinse the bad vibes out of her speakers. It is wild to think that someone would rather believe in a ghost in the machine than realize they accidentally bumped their own steering wheel controls during the wash. 38. A very confused customer pulled into a premium car wash and demanded a dry wash because they did not want their car to get wet. They were genuinely upset when the manager explained that water is a key ingredient in a car wash, and they filed a complaint for lack of flexible service. They argued that a professional establishment should be able to remove dust using nothing but high-velocity air and positive intentions. At what point does a customer request become so absurd that you are legally allowed to just walk away without saying another word? 39. A luxury car owner was absolutely livid because the car wash brushes moved his side view mirrors by exactly half an inch. He filed a formal claim stating that his aerodynamic calibration was ruined and that his fuel efficiency would drop significantly on his drive home. He demanded the car wash pay for a dealership technician to reset the mirrors to their factory-perfect positions. The level of pretentiousness required to believe a side mirror is a high-precision scientific instrument that cannot be touched by a sponge is truly a masterpiece of human ego. 40. A customer at a car wash filed a theft report because the vending machine was out of those little green tree air fresheners. Instead of just asking for $1 back, they claimed the business was intentionally misleading the public with their advertisement of a full-service experience. They spent 30 minutes filming the empty vending machine for their social media followers, calling for a total boycott of the facility. It is truly fascinating how a piece of scented cardboard can become the catalyst for a full-scale digital crusade against a small business. Do you think this person is actually a hero for consumer rights, or just someone with way too much time on their hands? 41. A guy in Ohio filed a complaint because his sedan was way too clean after a premium car wash. He argued the high-gloss shine made him a target for jealous neighbors, and that the business should have warned him about the social consequences of a polished car. He genuinely wanted a refund because he felt forced to park on the street to avoid looking like a show-off. It is hard to imagine being so miserable that you view a job well done as a legal liability. Is it even possible to satisfy a person who views a clean car as a social burden? 42. At a drive-through car wash, one driver protested because the undercarriage blast tickled his feet through his rusted-out floorboards. He claimed the high-pressure water was an invasion of personal space and that the machine was behaving suggestively. He actually demanded a discount for the unwanted physical sensation while moving through the soapy tunnel. Imagine having a car so broken you can feel the cleaning process on your skin and then blaming the business for it. This logic makes you wonder how some people pass their driving test in the first place. 43. One customer was furious because the banana blast wax at the car wash actually smelled like real bananas. He filed a complaint stating he has a lifestyle-based aversion to tropical fruits and that the scent caused him to lose his appetite for lunch. He actually demanded the car wash pay for a steak dinner to reset his palate after being exposed to the fruity aroma during the drying cycle. It takes a monumental amount of ego to expect an industrial car wash to cater to your specific food preferences via their cleaning chemicals. 44. A woman at a self-service car wash was outraged because the spot-free rinse did not instantly fix a deep dent in her fender. She filed a claim stating the word rinse implied a restorative process that should smooth out metal as well as clean dirt. When the manager explained water cannot fix structural damage, she accused him of withholding the secret settings on the soap machine. Do you think people like this are just confused by basic English? Or are they living in a world where magic is a standard business offering for $10? 45. One guy tried to drive his ride-on lawnmower through an automated car wash tunnel and was shocked when the giant brushes sent him spinning like a top. He filed a complaint for mechanical bullying, claiming the machinery did not respect his smaller vehicle. He actually expected the computer-controlled rollers to detect a mower and switch to a gentle grass mode. It is a miracle some people survive their own daily decisions without a team of professional handlers to keep them away from heavy machinery and high-pressure water jets. 46. A customer at a local car wash complained because the colorful LED lights inside the tunnel did not match the specific color of his car paint. He claimed the clashing aesthetics gave him a migraine and that the business was being visually insensitive to luxury owners. He suggested the facility install sensors to detect paint colors and sync the lighting for a more harmonious experience. Would you ever pay extra for a car wash just to have a light show that matches your car? Or is this guy just at the peak of suburban boredom? 47. A woman with a vintage convertible held together by duct tape was outraged when a high-pressure jet of water entered her cabin during the extreme blast cycle. She demanded a full interior detail and brand-new leather seats, claiming the car wash was negligent for not having enough signs, warning her that water could pass through visible holes in her own roof. Common sense is clearly a premium add-on she opted out of when she bought that wreck. It takes a legendary amount of audacity to blame a machine for the structural integrity of your own rolling dumpster. 48. A woman complained that the car wash wax was too slippery and made her car hard to catch in a crowded parking lot. She argued the finish was so smooth it defied the laws of friction and that the business should be liable if her car slid away on its own. It is a bold move to claim your car is now so clean it has become a frictionless projectile capable of escaping your control. How do you even begin to respond to someone who thinks a premium wax job can somehow cancel out the force of gravity? 49. One guy filed a complaint at a car wash because he found a hidden message in the soap suds on his windshield. He claimed the bubbles formed secret symbols telling him to buy a different brand of truck and accused the wash of using brainwashing foam on its customers. This level of paranoia is truly impressive, involving a bucket of biodegradable soap and a little bit of high-pressure water. Do you think this guy is actually onto something? Or has he just watched way too many conspiracy documentaries in his parents' basement? 50. A customer was outraged because the car wash did not clean the inside of his exhaust pipe. He filed a claim stating that for the price of a gold package, every part of the car should be spotless, including internal engine components. He actually tried to shove a high-pressure hose down his tailpipe in the parking lot to prove his point to the staff. It is hard to tell if this guy doesn't understand how combustion engines work or if he just wants his car clean on a molecular level at the expense of its safety. 51. A suburban customer filed a complaint because the free air machine at the car wash was too loud and allegedly startled his cat 3 blocks away. He claimed the industrial noise vibrated through the pavement and ruined his pet's afternoon nap, demanding the lot be soundproofed. Is it just me, or do some people think a local business is responsible for the peace and quiet of the entire zip code? How much entitlement does it take to think a tire pump is a personal attack on your cat's sleep schedule? 52. One lady complained that the automated car wash tunnel was way too efficient and finished the cycle in under 4 minutes. She argued that for $20, she should be allowed to sit under the colorful soap suds for at least 10 minutes to get her money's worth of relaxation. She actually blocked the exit lane, demanding a manual override so she could treat the wash tunnel like a private spa. It is truly mind-blowing that someone would complain about a service being fast and effective in a world where everyone else is in a rush. 53. A luxury car owner was upset because the industrial car wash vacuum was too aggressive with his premium floor mats. He claimed the suction was so powerful, it pulled the sole out of the carpet fibers and made the interior look exhausted. He filed a claim for a full set of replacement mats, insisting that a professional vacuum should have a gentle caress setting for expensive Italian wool. If you're that worried about your floor mats, maybe you should just use a lint roller and leave the heavy machinery to the actual professionals. 54. A self-proclaimed expert filed a complaint because he discovered the car wash uses filtered, reclaimed water to save the environment. He claimed using second-hand water on his SUV was a violation of his vehicle's dignity and that the car could actually smell the previous customers on its paint. He demanded a full refund for exposing his Ford to used suds. Do you think people like this actually understand how the global water cycle works? Or do they think every drop of water on Earth is brand new and created just for them? 55. A customer was deeply offended by a safety sign at the car wash that prohibited vacuuming people or pets. He filed a complaint claiming the sign was judgmental and discriminatory against his personal freedom to use the equipment however he saw fit. He argued that if he wanted to vacuum his own hair, the business had no right to shame him with a warning. This proves that no matter how many safety rules you make, someone will always find a way to be offended by basic common sense and necessary liability warnings. That wraps up our list of the most brain-melting car wash complaints ever recorded. From people trying to order burgers at a soap kiosk to those offended by the color of bubbles, it is clear that common sense is not a standard feature on most vehicles. Which of these was the most ridiculous to you? Or have you seen something even crazier at your local wash? Let us know in the comments. Hit that like button to support the channel and subscribe so you never miss another deep dive into the world of absolute human absurdity.